In this video, we're going to be discussing how you can use the grid component in situations where you might previously have used a dialog component. The reason that you might want to use a grid rather than a dialog is that with version 10 and all of the Ajax features, the grid component now has a lot more features than the dialog component, which has not been updated in version 10. So let's assume we'd like to create a simple dialog box to capture first name, last name, address, city, state, and zip. So we'll start out by just creating a dummy table. It can be a DBF table or it could be a SQL table. It doesn't really matter. It just it's a dummy table, and we don't really care about that table after the user has entered the data in the grid. So we'll quickly create a dummy table with the necessary fields in it. So you can see here I've defined a table. I haven't paid any attention at all to the field sizes because it's not going to be important. I did pay attention to the data type, but in this case they were all going to be character fields. So let's go ahead now and save this, and I'll just call this a dummy customer. Now, having done this, we're going to create a grid component. So let's go here and define a new grid. And it's going to be a DBF grid. And the first important thing to note is that we're going to set the type of the grid to be a form. And it's going to be based on the dummy customer table. We'll go to fields. And we obviously want it to be updatable, so we'll go now and choose all of our fields, and then we'll go to properties, and we're going to have to set some properties here that make this behave like a dialog. So the first property that we're going to set is that this is going to be an add records only component. Then we're going to go to update settings and change the number of new record rows to 1. So now when the grid opens, it's going to be in enter new record mode, and only one new record will be shown. Then we're going to go back to properties, and we're going to go and turn off the row selector columns, which will make it look more and more like a dialog. And then we're going to go back to update settings, and we're going to go to the allow individual rows to be saved to turn that off as well. So again, so we get more like a dialog behavior. And now let's save this and see how it works. So we'll call it our test dialog. So we'll go over to Chrome and test it out. So you can see here's our component, and we can go here and type in some, say, Fred Smith, 123 Main Street, Boston, and then hit submit. And the data was added basically, and in this case it was committed to this dummy table, but which we don't really care about. So now let's go back and put some rules in and define some more of the features of the component. So let's go to, say, the first name and last name fields and make those into required fields. So we'll say that's required, and that last name is required. And let's go ahead now and save it and test it. So you can see now if I type in a value over there and then submit, you can see we get our errors immediately. And let's pause now and continue in the next video.